Howdy, friends, followers, haters, trolls. I welcome you all. I'm going to do a little preliminary chit chat and see if anybody wants to listen to my nonsense. But it's a beautiful day down here in Southwest Florida. I'm looking at my laptop tells me the temperature. It is 85 degrees Fahrenheit, sunny, and barely any clouds. So that's I guess one thing positive going on in my life. So I do like that. Um, you know, the one thing that's cool about sitting out here on the lanai is all the critters that are out here. There's rabbits, there's herons, there's black crows, there's these other black things with the pointy. I don't know. I don't know my birds too well, but there's a lot of critters out here, and ducks. The Muscovy ducks. I've talked about that in the past, and it's pretty nice. Like every once in a while, I do see like it's weird. I see a fish or two jump out there in the middle. I'm assuming it's a fish, and usually this time of year they're usually like hitting insects or something like that on top of water. But it's nice out here. This is probably gonna go away soon, but I'm here to just wait for some more people to come in. Hey, Melinda, how are you? I hope everything's going well for you. Um, it's always nice to see you. I know you always, have positive input. Been a nice support of the channel, so I do appreciate that. I'm going to do a shout out when we get a few more people in here, and then I'm going to. I'm sure some people saw a video I posted this morning. When I posted that, I was in a bad place. I'm still not in a good place, but I was in a real bad place. And after what happened today, I'm in a worse place. So it's crazy. The just I would never ever imagine growing up, at different levels, point levels of, when I was 20 years old, I never expected to be in this. When I was at 30 or 40 or 50, and here I am sitting at 60, about to go 6 feet under. And it blows my mind. I've talked about this. Nobody believes when I talk about the curse. I'm telling you, the curse is a real thing in my life. I don't know why it is, but I'm gonna touch on some different topics today. Hopefully some more people pop in. Or I noticed I lost some subscribers, like 3 subscribers in the last 36 hours. So maybe they're tired of what I put out there. But I was just watching on another. Let me go over to it here real quick. I watch a wide variety of YouTube channels, and there's a guy on here, channel called Van City Van Life, and I watch his channel from time to time, and he's basically just like he just made a comment, basically like everything he shares on YouTube is about his life, and he doesn't sugarcoat anything. He doesn't, he just tells the real deal. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I know the real deal is probably not um, probably the blueprint for success going forward, but I, when you're hurting, sometimes you need to talk. So I like to talk to my YouTube friends and try and correspond with them somehow, and I usually feel a little bit better when I do. Um, but So this guy from Van City Van Life was just talking at how he had basically like a dysfunctional relationship with his kids, and they kind of some of them are starting to mend the relationship, and just basically like the title of this. Let me go over and read the title to you of this video. I haven't even got to the meat of the video because I didn't want to. So the title of this video says, "Not Invited to My Mom's Funeral, Living Life as a Lone Wolf, Sad Story." And that really captured, my attention, because like, man, when you say lone wolf, that makes me feel like we're in the same boat, so to speak. So I'm going to do a quick shout out to all one, to the only viewer out here. Got a real cool correspondence at my P.O. box today. It was a decal that was sent to me, and I don't know how well you can see this. It is Just Doing Our Best. It's a channel. They're from Mississippi, and she put a real nice little note in here. And then at the bottom, there's like a patriotic 2A, and I really didn't understand what that meant, so I kind of Googled it. So I think that represents the Second Amendment, which I think that's pretty cool. So I don't think this is too personal that I can't share, so I will tell you what the note said, and I thought this was really cool. So it says, "Hi, Gary. Thought I'd send you a sticker. If you have one of yours, I sure would love to display it. Keep on fishing. Just doing our best." That's the name of the channel. And then she put down Brian and Shirley, husband and wife, I'm sure. So that's cool. I used to be really active with that due to finances. I haven't really sent out a whole lot. I basically run out of decals, but I had some set aside. This is probably going to open up a negative conversation potentially, but I was going to do a giveaway around 250, and then my world fell apart. And but I had purchased a bunch of products and stuff like that to do giveaway, because I was so appreciative of everybody supporting this small channel. So finances fell apart, the hurricane, all that nonsense, and my life became disrupted. So it looked like it's kind of crazy. I did a series of videos where I showed these items to give away, but unfortunately shipping in today's times is not real cheap. And I know some of the items did have weight. When I did these videos, I was doing a little bit better for myself. So I wanted to do them in phases, like 5 or 6 at a time. And that never transpired yet. But in most of those little, I used like these quart or gallon size, mostly it was like gallon size, like Ziploc bags. And in a lot of those, I had some of the decals. So I did pilfer 1 or 2 from that gift set. I'm hoping for, a more positive financial, stream coming in, but it's not looking too well right now. But so I may pilfer 1 more of those stickers from one of those packs to get it out to show good faith. I'm trying and appreciate support. So if anybody saw, there's a few things I want to talk about. I don't have any notes written today, so I may forget something I want to talk about. If anybody watched the video I posted this morning around 0800, I was in a bad place yesterday. I'm still not in a good place. I'm still in a bad place, but I was like, I've been so sensitive here lately, and like, if you're a male and you're sensitive and you show emotion, that's considered unmanly, unfortunately. I never used to be like that, but through all my trials and tribulations over time, and how, the cards have been dealt to me, or basically not dealt to me, it's been rough. So last night I did a video because there was a topic, something that hit my heart, And, I did a lot of crying. And unfortunately, in the last couple of months, since the hurricane, I've done a lot of crying. And you would think eventually you run out of tears, but no, somehow I find a way to produce them. So I'm going to tell you what happened yesterday, and this is going to make me look like an idiot or a fool or a bad employee, but I can tell you honestly that's not the case. But I'm going to mention a culture involved with where I went to work yesterday, and this may be misperceived, but I was trying to think of every possibility. So I start work with, through an employment agency at a place called City Mattress in Bonita Springs, Florida, and working in a mattress factory. Well, I wasn't too excited about that, but I'm like, hey, trying to stay vertical and pay the bills, and let me try and make it happen for a little while and get some income, because G-Money's about out of money, and that's no joke. There's nothing left. It's pretty ugly. So I go there, and it's kind of intimidating because it's really big warehouse. From the road, it doesn't look that big. When you're in the back, it's very big. So, it took me about an hour to understand and get a better feel. So, I'm flowing with the process. You kind of have to pull mattresses off the table, check for quality control, like any not phrase, but like extra threading that's sticking out or anything like that. And, so I'm feeling good about how the day is going on. I'm working with another gentleman who is an American, but is married to somebody from a different culture. Trying to phrase this politically correct. And then the other guy that's working with this is a Cuban guy that really can't speak English. I know some Spanish, but I struggle with certain keywords, or I usually struggle with like the nouns. Hey Shaz, 73, how are you? So I'm just kind of updating people on some happenings yesterday. So I'm working in this mattress factory, and I'm thinking, man, this is going to be a terrible job. And then I find out that the thing I did like about it, it's only 4 or 5 miles from where I live here with my mom. So I'm like, that's a bonus. That's a positive, because it'll be less fuel consumption, less expenses on my part. So I go through the day, and I'm feeling pretty good. Now, we're all communicating better. There was myself and 2 other people working at this station. And basically what you do is you're going to check for quality control, pull it off the end of the line. You're going to bag it up, put it in like a cardboard box. You need to tape it up and ship it out. It's going to go to different regions. So I'm doing all that and feeling pretty good. I'm thinking like, all right, this job's a little bit better than I thought. It's not what I want to do. It's not something that excites me to get up and go to work. I miss having a job where you couldn't wait to go to work. So those days are pretty far behind me. So we're doing all that, and everything's going great. And then I'd say like we shut down but the whole process of the plant started at 7 a.m. and shut down at 3 p.m. I'd say around 1:30ish, somewhere, I forget when it was exactly. They come over and they want me to present my timesheet to them, at the end of the day. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. So I'm thinking that's kind of odd. Usually you do it at the end of the week and they verify the times and everything. So I'm doing all that, and I do that at the end of the day, and the guy looks at it, and I get a text probably about an hour and a half after I got, probably around 4:30 p.m. from the employment agency, and they felt I could not perform the duties, which to me was like total BS. I was doing everything the other three guys were doing. I was picking up, sweeping up trash, and self-initiated a lot of projects, in that work area. And to say like I couldn't lift the mattresses, I was like, no, that's like total BS. I was, I'm not 30 anymore, but like I was doing everything the other guys were doing. There were no points of struggle. I would say the first hour of learning that process, it was like a learning process. There's like a system, and you got to understand how they bag things. So the first hour was just a learning process, as any new job. So, so I'm really ticked off now. I was feeling happy because, like, all right, I may be able to salvage some type of financial future and try and not have my credit decline and what have you. So when I get that, I reply back to the employment agency. At this point, I'm infuriated. And I just replied, no. I said, that's a bunch of BS. So, I couldn't figure out what the problem was. And then it dawned on me later, like pretty much today. And this is not a knock on a culture, but I'm going to tell you the truth of the situation there. I would say 95% of the people working in that warehouse were Cuban. And so many of the employees in there were related to another employee. And all the supervisory and management staff are Cuban. So it's not a knock on Cubans, but they're a very tight-knit group of people. That is the reality down here in Florida. So it dawned on me like, all right, somebody like a relative or something like needed a job and somebody recommended, or they trying to find a way to like dish my reputation. And so I wasn't too happy about that. So I had to go back today to the plant and listen to this. This is funny as hell. I thought it was funny as heck on Friday when I found out the guy I was going to be working for, in another broadcast, I had talked about this guy's name and I actually had it wrong. It's what I thought it was. I kept thinking the guy's name was Flavio, but it was Fabio, right? Like, the dude, the model with the long blonde hair and everything. So now I'm ticked off. So I go in there this morning. I got to get the signature on the timesheet just to get 1 day's pay, and I I get him to do that. Hey Joy, hey Scott, thank you folks for popping in. I'm just kind of having like a rambling session right now. Then I'm going to go on to some other sad news. So I asked him. So I just flat out asked him, and I pretty much at this point, I had nothing to lose. If I cuss the guy out, what are they going to do? They're going to fire me. They just released me the day before. So I was like, all right, this is time for me to just show my colors, like probably not the way you want to show your colors, but if somebody fabricates a story about my reputation or my work ethic, then that pisses me off. So I will defend that reputation. So I told him that, and I used some colorful language. I said, there's, this is like BS. It's like, so I called him out. I called him out quite a few times and just told him, and basically he and the employment agency, there was some deception there somewhere. But basically, I personally think they were trying to take care of a relative or a friend that is in that Cuban culture. So that's what it is. So I'll never buy one of those mattresses. I probably won't ever live on a mattress ever again. But you can bet your sweet ass I'm not buying one of those mattresses. I did like the. I did honestly the process was very impressive. It's like that was like something I never thought about. Like, I wonder how like a mattress factory works. No, I never thought about that. But when you see, it is very organized. It is very clean, very systematic, very good quality control, and that's about all I can say for that. They did pay you for your 15-minute breaks. They did pay you for your lunch break, which was a half hour. But I thought that part was, kind of cool. And but obviously, I'm no longer working there, so I really can't support them. Uh, there was, I don't know, somewhere in the pipeline there was some deception. So my goals and my future have pretty much been flushed down the toilet. I then like I'm feeling like crap today. I had nightmares last night. Anybody's been watching my channel, when I worry about finances, I get real bad nightmares, and I have no way to block that out. I don't have any medical insurance, so I can't go buy certain sleeping pills or whatever. I have to try and deal with it. So that really sucks. Every time I lay down at night, I know like, oh man, this is going to be bad. Usually I have like 2 or 3 per night, which is not a good ratio. So then today I run out, do a couple things, and I roll up here to the house, and the person that's the power of attorney is here. That is allegedly my brother. And every time he's around, like my blood pressure goes way up, and he's one of those individuals that I'm gonna eventually he'll probably see this broadcast, or the stepsister, who apparently her and her soon-to-be husband monitor this channel. So the one thing I don't like about him, every time he is in a room or around people, he always tries to be the center of attention. And we were like, hello, Pontoon, Jody. Hello, Scott, Melinda, Mike, Joy, everybody. But so what he does that, and I've never really liked, he's always been really, really high on himself. Like I guess you call that egotistical or whatever. That's one thing. He and I are like polar opposites. And for the longest time, I always just stayed quiet and stayed to myself until I found YouTube. Now I kind of open up and talk about more stuff than I probably should for the credibility of the channel. But so we roll up, and it's a big battle between he and I. He was granted power of attorney 21 years ago, and it just proved my point about the inequality amongst the siblings. And everybody's like, no, that's not true. And like, no, that's like total BS. I mean, I know what's happened in my own life. I've seen the process and lived through the process. I know the realities of everything that's transpired. And my mom has assisted me in recent years. My mom has also assisted my brother in the past. She purchased a condo and she paid for a lot of the payments and everything. Well, that is all being denied. Like he's saying that never happened, which I already know is total BS because my mom already told me. And the when I say stepsister, through marriage or whatever, her father had already, told her what was going on with, the condo down there in Miami. So it recently sold. When I say recently, probably less than a year ago, for like $280,000. I think everything was paid off finally. So he recouped, this money, and he keeps trying to tell me that mom had never helped him. And I'm like, man, it pisses me off when someone's face to face with me telling me a bold-faced lie that I already know is not true. So then he's telling me, oh, all these, like, it always turns around. It's always about, I'm in a bad place right now. Like I could be 6 feet under like real soon. So I'm trying to just convey my situation to him. And then he goes back into the same mode where like he's smarter than everybody and all this stuff. And, it's like, that's the stuff I hate, but I'm trying to communicate honestly. And basically it turned around. It was all about him. Turned around again. It was all about him. So I'm like I'm saying to myself, like, man, this dumbass does not realize what I'm telling him, and it's just a bad situation. I like I've said before, I don't know why I have been cursed, but it's a true thing. It really is. It really is a true thing. And I've been trying to nickel and dime for the last couple of years, or well, since Hurricane Irma, that was 5 years ago. And that's when my life got turned upside down, and trying to rebound, and just been one calamity after another. But I just feel like this is, I've said this before, I feel like this is like a confessional moment for me. I'm going to talk a little bit about, some of the people that are in here. One, I see Melinda was the last comment that I see. She's been like a loyal supporter. I appreciate her coming in. Mike's Fishing Home. He's a very unique individual. I like Mike because Mike is Mike, and he just runs on his own program. He's not like YouTube, cookie mode or whatever you want to call that. Mike is Mike, and he does some real nice content, and he likes to do a lot of lives. And you better pack a sandwich and have some beverages, because Mike's going to talk for 5, 6, 7 hours sometimes. But I like watching Mike. He's a cool dude, and he just did a really nice video, a tribute to Aileen, Welcome to My Kitchen, on her cookbook. So I thought that was really cool. Little Ridge Farm is in here. There was a real nice fundraiser done for he and his daughter. So I know they fared pretty well, which is good to help them kind of rebound. Pontoon Jody, I know she does a lot of fishing, and I've watched a little bit of her content. I'm not going to lie to you, I haven't watched a ton, but I do see her in the YouTube circles, and I would say she probably fishes on a pontoon boat. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but then there is, let me see if there's anybody else I missed. Then there's Scott and Joy, and those two folks. They're cut up. They're too funny. I call Joy the crazy chicken lady because she just got a chicken lady apron, and Scott is Scott. That's a grunt, just grinding every day. Just trying to get to the next day. That's pretty much what I've been trying to do. So there's no particular point to all that. I mean, there probably is if anybody can read the underlining message here. But I'm real happy because my credit went up 20 points in the last 30 days. And that's like something I thought would never happen. So that's pretty cool. But my deadlines are like here. They're now and they're present. And my world's about to be turned upside down. I don't want to get too personal, but I can tell you I have less than $100, and it's less than $100. So my inventory has pretty much been extremely depleted. I can't reinvest, because I've been responsible paying the bills. So now I'm in a catch-22. When I was talking to the POA earlier, he's pretty much telling me, and this is where I have a hard time accepting this. I'm 60 years old, right? So that's reality. I'm not getting any younger, and I am so sick of building other people's dreams. I've been trying for 10 years to build my dream, and some people don't understand that, and just for whatever reason, just prep hasn't worked out too well for me here lately. And when I'm employed, my mom falls apart. When I'm unemployed, I fall apart. But she stays healthier. So we're in that zone where somebody's going to kick the bucket real soon. I don't know what to say. It's just like that's just the reality. And I've had all these vehicle problems here recently. Anybody that's owned a Ford like pickup truck or like a E150 van or 250 or 350, Fords are known for like a sloppy gear shifter. After a while, it's like, I forget what they call it. It's like a bushing collar or something like that. Anyway, that's like deteriorating. It's in my van. Sometimes I got to like really work the shifter and try and play around with the ignition. And basically, it's to the point where it's not going to start anymore. I don't have the money to fix it. My air conditioning does not work. I have an opportunity to sell at a new location I've been invited to in Alva, Florida on Sunday, but with the heat index, it's going to be like 95 degrees. So I'm like, man, it's like I keep busting my behind and there's really nothing in my favor. So, when I listened to the power of attorney earlier, like I just get really, I get really ticked off. I get really angry because he's trying to sell me like on a story that I know is not true. And, maybe parts of it, like through his life, may be true. He's been had drug and alcohol problems, been in and out of rehab. And supposedly he has, cleaned up his act, but he's still the same old idiot. So I'm trying to deal with the situation, and it's just not a good situation. It's not. It doesn't have a happy ending, and it's getting real close to the point where I'm literally like I won't be able to do anything. I'm just going to erode. I'm just going to be, like putting a fish in the ground. I'm just going to decay because that's what's happening. I'm slowly decaying for trying to do positive things, and I don't know how to. There's no more fairy dust. There's nothing. It's like I'm at the end of the road. When I tell you I'm at the end of the road, I'm at the end of the road, and it's pretty freaking ugly that there is a solution to the problem, but it's not being offered up. If I take it under my own control, person wants to make it, a crime. So, I don't know what to say, but I'm gonna tap out. G Money's got a tinkle. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Just nothing real exciting to report. Just kind of like family drama. Hope everybody's life, goes better than mine. And, like I always say, if you can, try and find a way to help somebody. It's so rewarding for yourself, for them. It's just it can be a good thing. So I'm trying to think of, I'm really out of options, and there's one possible lifeline left that I really don't want to do, but I may have to do, and I don't know how it's going to work out for me. I'm tapping out, folks. Remember, folks, always know your legal limits and just try and be good Americans. Help people when you can.